evening, everybody. Let me turn on my light here so you can see my lovely face. Okay, there we go. All right, hopefully it stays, but you will be incredibly glad to know that my USB splitter has decided to start disconnecting and reconnecting things at random. Hence why my face is currently frozen. Okay, I think it's back again. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Okay, I switched what it seems to be. Yeah, blame Heath, exactly. It seems to be that USB port that my camera was plugged into. So, whoa, okay, and now it is. Okay, now it's fine. I don't know why it got bigger there for a minute, but it's fine now. Anyways, good evening, everybody. Now that it's actually functioning properly, fingers crossed, knocking on wood. It is good to see everyone here tonight. Let's see, who do we got here? We got Dennis, we got Garrett, we got Scott, we got Jeff. Garrett, yes, you do indeed recognize one of these boxes in the thumbnail. That'll probably be the second thing we work on tonight. Well, maybe the first. I haven't decided yet. Hey Banu, hey Ted. Hey Adam, hey Kyle, hey says. It's always Heat's fault, Ted. It's always Heat's fault. But, in any case, tonight is going to be a weathering night. So I have about 1 billion weathering projects that are sitting here on my desk that I need to work on over the next little bit. The next, few weeks, couple months maybe. We've got Garrett's Finger Lakes shoving platform. We are absolutely having fun, Peter. Good to see you tonight. So we got Garrett's Finger Lakes transfer caboose. We've got my Burlington Northern Fruit Express refrigerated boxcar. That's got to be worked on tonight because that's got to be going down to Sydney, Australia, along with another model that's on my table here, and an HO scale model of the same car. So we got those. We've got a pair of BNSF GEs here, a Dash 8 and a Dash 7 and a Dash 8. For Mr. Sean Klondike, who did just show up in the chat. Good to see you, Sean. Welcome in. I don't know if we'll be getting to your locomotives tonight, Sean. We're going to see where we get. We're going to see what we can get done tonight. We're going to see how far we get. But they are here. They are safely here on my workbench. And we'll be getting weathered soon. And then, after all of that, we also have this big old box of HO scale cars for my good buddy Corey at Ars Trains here on YouTube. We got a B&M boxcar. We've got a D&H wide vision caboose. We've got a Penn Central rib-sided gondola. We've got a bunch more stuff even. We've excuse me. Got Penn Central PCA 50-foot boxcar. ribbed 50-foot boxcar. We've got a mech gondola, smooth side. And we've got an EL reefer. And it's curious that we have this EL reefer here because I need to... Hey! Speaking of, there's Corey. Good to see you, my friend. Unfortunately, Corey, I don't think we're going to be able to get to any of your cars tonight. I've just got so many weathering projects on my bench right now. I just wanted to get them all out here and show them all off. And hopefully we'll start to get to some of this stuff. Soon, but this will be the next few weeks of weekly weathering and more. We'll actually be weathering for once. As you can see, we've got plenty to work on. So you did quite literally cram as much into this box as you could fit. So yeah, Corey, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be getting to this box tonight, but it's here, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So we're gonna start with my reefer just because I'm actually on a deadline for this as opposed to the other cars and things. So I think we're gonna start with getting some rust onto this car. Then we are going to jump, I think, to Garrett's Finger Lakes 202R, get that faded. And then, depending on timing, we will jump to the pumpkins and start to fade out the pumpkins. But before we get to any of that, I have a little bit of show and tell here. Ray will put those cards in his shoes and his luggage. Yeah, there you go. Exactly, says. You got it, Chris. I'm probably gonna send a BNCCS boxcar as well for exactly that reason. Is if it takes up this much space in his luggage, I think he can fit it. He'll roll it up in a shirt or stick it in the shoe or something. Coming at you from Knoxville, Tennessee. Oh boy. Hope you're having fun down in Tennessee, Corey. That's awesome. Dale, good to see you. Welcome in. Lots of good freight cars. Yes, indeed, Kyle. Lots of really nice freight cars. Okay. Oh yeah, and then after all that's done, I also still have this FlexiFlow that only got the very basic fading, and needs to get some grime and needs to get some spillage of the contents overflow onto the sides of the cars and stuff. But that's end of the line. I also have some other fun things on my desk here. I want to do some show and tell. 76 and sunny. Oh man. That sounds lovely, Corey. I hope you're enjoying that. All right, let's see. Show and tell. What to do first? So, I guess first of all, apologies for having no stream kind of suddenly last week. The plan was always to have a stream, and then the snowstorm kind of played with my plans and getting back from Rochester at the Rochester RPM where I was at last weekend, and yeah, the stream didn't exactly happen, but I had a ton of fun up in Rochester at the RPM. Let me quickly pull up some pictures of that. Here they are. We're going to start right... Oops. We're going to start right here. We're going to turn this on, transition this over. Yeah, we're going to see if this video overloads. Okay, so first thing at the RPM, after setup of some T-Trek modules, myself and my friend Garrett, who is here in chat tonight, had a great time doing some ops at the Spalties layout. The Main and Western. It was a really fun layout, and also I don't know why the resolution is 4 pixels on this video, but it's, yeah, trust me when I say it's a beautiful layout. Hopefully the other pictures and videos, there we go. That shows you, that does some justice to it. you're sick of the snow already, makes you want to move back to Florida. Snow mo snow. So this is one of the trains we were running, is their Main and Western 402, which is a C420. But I did run the BNCCS traveling boxcar on the layout, as you can see, and had a lot of fun doing it. I got some really nice pictures. This is based on basically the railroad that runs up through Crawford Notch, which is now the Conway Scenic. Now the Conway Scenic Railroad. So it is gorgeous and a lot of fun. You want more snow there? You can have some of ours, Adam. Went the wrong. Yes, yeah. So Garrett on the first train of the day, or of the night, Garrett was my conductor, just because I already had it plugged into the throttle and I was ready to go. So Garrett arrived a bit late because he went to the wrong address, right? He plugged into the address wrong because it's like two very similar addresses on opposite sides of Rochester. So he plugged in the slightly wrong address and wound up about 10 minutes late, I think, Garrett. Not too late, but just late enough that we had already basically gotten started. So Garrett comes down the stairs and I hand him the paperwork and say, "All right, tell me where to go." After he showed up from going to the wrong address. So that was that was fun. All right, give me at least 480p. Here we go. So this is another one of the show 10 to 15. Yeah, okay. This is another one of the trains that we were running. A nice little 260 Mogul leading a couple car passenger train through the beautiful scenery. And it was running timetable and train order, so running real slow because we needed to we needed to follow the timetable, and the timetable said we're going to go slow, so we kept the speed down and nice little branch line running. It was a lot of fun. And as you guys have already commented, absolutely gorgeous scenery. Gordy and Janine Spalti did a fantastic job with the scenery on this layout. It's absolutely beautiful. Here's the RPM space itself. So this is in the Edgerton Community Center. This here is all the Fremo layout, which I did get to run on a little bit this weekend, or that weekend, which was a lot of fun. And there is some weirdo in a New Haven Railroad Historical and Technical Association shirt setting up 8 feet of T-Track modules on the T-Track layout. So I did bring all of Hopewell and my Apple Orchard module and hooked them into the layout and had a lot of fun with that. And then all the tables around the outside are where all of the model displays were. Oops, I'm going the wrong direction. So now we are getting to Saturday, which is the opening of the RPM, and this is one of the only pictures I actually wound up taking on the Saturday, because this is BNCCS 1700 in the 1980s, no, late 1970s, early 1980s, and this is where it is in the mid-2000s. In 2005, it is Genesee Wyoming Transportation number 32, in bad need of a repaint, because when GWT got the power, they just slapped some green paint on it and sent it out on the road. So that green paint is chipping right on off, some 25 years later, and giving that BNCCS Diamond and the 1700 a little bit of view back through. Some maroon down here, some Balfour maroon, around the edges up here. So this is Paul's HO model of the unit and my NCO model of the unit, and it was just cool to finally have these two units together and kind of show the progression of time and storytelling that the two of us have put into this, because this storytelling here is like 9 months in the making. It was last like June or July that we had started to hatch this scheme. So paint prep is overrated. Now doing a 2RLO, my good friend Andy Estep would probably be very much into that, considering he is all in on two rail scale down to the New York Society of Model Engineers. But we'll get to the NYSME in a couple minutes here. Why is this sideways? I don't know why that video is sideways, but we'll just jump to this one, I guess. So this is now on Fremo layout on Saturday, and I ran the any B&W RS11, or RS3 rather, that I picked up at the Springfield show on the layout, and the NE B&W was running again, and lots of people were like, "Oh, the NE B&W, I remember, visiting there, or I remember, being a member there, or talking to members there, or remember it from the magazines and stuff." So it's cool to see that it still has that recognition. Now we're getting into Sunday here. Those are some pictures of Circa and ARC membership right here. We were taking some Circa and ARC member photos. These are all Circa or ARC members locomotives. So we got Brandon Shenango connecting. We've got Chris Ketch's Ontario lines. Arco's Bloomfield Central from Garrett. Joey B's Salt City Railroad. The Genesee Wyoming Transportation Company in the back. And the BNCCS right here, which I'll show off number 730 in its current state in a second as well. This is all, gosh, I don't remember the name of the club. I guess the Edgerton Model Railroad Club? I don't know. I don't actually remember. But they had a fantastic O-gauge Lionel layout downstairs from where we were going. Did I buy it from the club or from a dealer? I got it from the club, Chris. I got the RS3 and I got one of their 282 Mikados. The RS3 I bought from I guess technically I got them from the NER because the NER got them from the club, since the club is now officially moving to N scale and moving away from the NEBW, so they can make a layout of their own and have ownership of it. So they gave it to the NER, and the NER has been dispositioning it. So I bought the RS3 and I was given the 282 because I was a former president of the club. And former presidents got locomotives marked as does not run. I opened it up, no cracked gears, motor ran fine, plugged the decoder in, the 282 runs fine too. So I'm very happy with that. I'm correct, it's Edgerton Model Railroad Club. Okay, cool. The last 2 weeks have been so busy, I couldn't remember. Here we go. So this is now the T-track layout at the RPM. This is, we're walking by Hopewell Junction with my 20-car Amtrak Rainbow Era train running through it, which will actually expand to 22 or 23 cars tomorrow. I should have a package arriving. There's the depot. And there goes Amtrak. Visited them the first time when you went to Amherst back in the early 2000s. I assume you're talking about... Are you talking about Edgerton, or I'm assuming you're talking about the NEB&W? Is my assumption. Alright, let's please load here, video. Not entirely sure why these videos aren't loading tonight. NEB&W, okay. That's what I assumed. I just wanted to make sure. Alright, well, this video is not loading, so we'll just move on. So this is now, we're finally, we're end of the day Sunday, I'm packing up. I didn't think to take a picture of my table until the very end of the day, so this is my table at the end of the day. It's a little bit discombobulated because I've been moving things around, but I had my prototype stuff over here. There's the HO car that the N-scale car is going to roughly match. Here's my New Haven cars from Rapido. There's my model of this scene from Southampton, Massachusetts. All my New Haven stuff. My Amtrak 4316 model. And then we get to the middle here, which is general prototype stuff. And then all my BNCCS stuff. Hey, what's up, Paul? Welcome in. you visited Edgerton when you were a kid in the early 80s. Yeah, that makes more sense. But yeah, so this was my table at the RPM. There's that 282, Chris, that I was talking about as well, that just so happens to run. So I had a great time at the RPM. It was a lot of fun. There we go. There's our Circa member photo, which was a great time to get all the Circa guys together and see everyone. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So sorry, just got a message on my phone I need to check real quick. Oh, also, hey Sam, how's it going? Sorry, I think I saw you before and said hi in my brain, but I don't know if I did out loud. So good to see you. So we'll get to this in a minute, but this is one of my purchases from the show. There's a rather silly photo of me. I did not meet up with Miles at the RPM. He didn't come out for the Rochester RPM. I did see Miles at Springfield. I saw him at Springfield and had a lot of fun chatting with him for a little bit. Of course, I saw him on Sunday, so it was just kind of madness. But I did see Miles there, yeah. Yes, this photo absolutely debunks the theory that the hobby is dying. Of the, what is it, 6, 7 people in this photo, more than half of them are under the age of 40. So it's a good time to be a model rarer. This is now a sticker that I have now. Thank you very much. I don't remember if this was Brandon or Banu who took this photo, but thank you both. Well, whoever it was, thank you very much for it. It is now a beloved treasure of mine. Damn it, Banu. I said it, and then I was really hoping that no one would catch on it. I left you a present at home? I did what? What did I leave? I thought I had everything. Here we go. There's that NEB&W 282. Running on the Fremo. So, so that's the RPM. I left my flux. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm glad you found it, Paul. Feel free to use it. Feel free to use it a little bit. You're more than welcome to. I would like it back at some point, but yeah, I guess that goes to show you how little I've worked on models since the RPM. But yeah, so that was a lot of fun being at the RPM and hanging out with people. Let's get back to the workbench here now. I've got some things to show off, things that I purchased while at or not necessarily at the RPM, but while up in Rochester / on the way to Rochester. So on my way up there, I stopped in at JR Hobby in, I guess you can try to remember it for Syracuse. Yeah. Yeah. That would be nice. I may need a reminder to remind you, Paul. So we'll see if we can make that happen. But so on the way up to Rochester, I stopped in at JR Hobby in Syracuse, and these two cars called my name. We've got an Atlas Master New Haven script letter PS1 boxcar, fine addition to my PS1 collection, and a very nice car that I look forward to giving some weathering to and adding it to my New Haven collection. And I just grabbed this Illinois Central orange boxcar because I was like, oh, that's the ICG orange is like it's a very distinctive car, and it'll be very cool to have and to weather and stuff like that. because I don't have any ICG cars or IC cars or anything like that. But I got it, and then I realized it had this X here, and it says for use in salt service only. And it came with a couple of roof hatches to apply. So I applied the roof hatches, and now we have a box car, or a X box car, to add to my salt service. Salt service fleet. It's fun. I didn't even think about that. I did not even think about that, Dennis. That's so funny. These are literally just the two cars I happened to have. That's really funny. Might be a Fubi. I don't know. I know the ICG. I looked into it, and the ICG did have some salt service boxcars. I haven't found any photos of nice weather, but I have found photos of 40-foot boxcars with in ICG paint with roof hatches. So, and no, I gotta figure out how best to weather it, but it's pretty cool. Then on my way out of Rochester, I stopped in at Dan's Crafts and Things. Picked up some Walther's Solvaset. Picked up some more Lebel 108 because it's almost time from my current Lebel 108 bottle is less than half full, so it's time to start. It was time to start thinking about it, and it was a good deal. Chris, it is 167-100, ICG 167100. Yeah, but so I picked up those two things, but a couple more things caught my eye a little bit more, which is a nice pair of 57-foot mechanical reefers, and these happen to be in EL paints. One drop at a time, not 25. Yeah. Well, the thing is, Dennis, I use it for my motor stuff, but then I also use it when I'm doing milling to keep the bit cool and keep the little metal shards from going everywhere, and I tend to use a little bit more for that. But also, I've had that bottle for 3 or 4 years now and used it pretty regularly on, when I pick up old locomotives and things like that to add a couple drops to the gears, and work it in. But so yeah, I got these two 57-foot mechanical reefers, currently lettered for the EL, but I don't think they're going to stay that way. I haven't decided for sure yet, but I'm playing with the idea of refrigerated boxcar service being a standard industry on the BNCCS, and therefore the BNCCS would need some. Use beeswax or drilling metal. Oh, I will have to pick up some beeswax then. Works better. Okay, that's a good tip. Thank you, Dennis. But yeah, so if I do decide, which I'm leaning towards deciding yes, I'm going to have to come up with a paint scheme for BNCCS reefer service. Could just be the normal boxcar scheme. Could be something different. Could have a catchy slogan. I haven't decided yet, but I picked up a pair of cars, regardless of whether or not the BNCCS they get BNCCS paint. They're nice at cars. They're Athearn N cars, and they got a lot of nice detail on them. So that's all that I picked up. The one other thing I want to talk about before we get into work tonight is the BNCCS 730 project. 730 is it's in a fairly good state right now. It's all painted. It's mostly decaled. I need to touch up the decaling on the sill here because I screwed it up a little bit when I was trying to drill some holes for some handrail stanchions, because I am doing wire handrails. I did start to work on one set of wire handrails here. This goes right like this and like this. But when I was working on it, I was a little tired, and I started to I started to get frustrated, so I took a break and I haven't gotten back to it yet. So, but it looks pretty nice being on there like that. So I do want to keep working on that eventually. But I've got other projects because the decoder that I had for this unit needs to go back to ESU anyway. So BNCCS 730 is going to sit on the back burner a little bit for a little while I go back to my real bread and butter, which is the N-Scale world. And the one other thing, Josh, you just subscribed to the channel. Well, thank you for that and welcome. It's good to have you. We are about to get into work here. I keep saying one more thing, but I realize there's a couple more things to show you. The first thing is from one Paul Stamp, which is not for me. It is, as he said at the end of his stream, going to Sydney, Australia with my BN reefers, and that is his Finger Lakes 1703. So I got it here. I'm not going to take it out of the box because it's a lot of effort. But it is very nice to see it, in person. I got to see it at the RPM, and it's nice to have it. And I took some photos for Paul, that way he could share them out for NERX. And then I have the stuff from today that I wanted to talk about. So today I went down, as we chatted about in Paul's stream, I went down to the New York Society of Model Engineers to shoot a layout tour for NERX, which is the NER Northeast Region's virtual convention. And while I was there, I got to chat with the guys and had a great time. And they gave me this nice hat. So I got a nice new ball cap here for the New York Society Model Engineers. They also gave me an AccuRail kit with Katie couplers. So I will I'll be building that at some point. I got to also build my Lakeshores car still. I never got around to that, so maybe one stream in the next couple months we'll be building a couple of AccuRail kits. And then they gave me a ticket, which is good for one free admission basically to the club. And they gave it to me in a very nice NYSME envelope with a stamped seal in there and everything. It's very nice. So if you want to learn more about the New York Society of Model Engineers, tune into NERX, which is in 2 weeks, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, from 6 to 9, and will be a great time. ICG 16100 to 189, 1973 plus, ran between Baton Rouge to Acme, North Carolina, only a dozen left by 1980. Nice. That is very good information. So how one got up to the Northeast, I don't know. Yeah, it does say right here, return to Baton Rouge, Louisiana for when empty. Yeah, return car to ICGRR, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, salt loading only. How it got to the Northeast, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe there was a really harsh winter, and they needed some extra salt. Mount Morris wasn't quite enough, so they brought in some salt from the Midwest and the Southeast. I don't know. That's a story waiting to happen, but it's great to have that information, Chris. Thank you. So I guess that means I should probably beat it up a little bit, make it rusty. Anyways. So now we need to get to work here. Josh, I do O-gauge, HO, N, Z, G engines, and some battery operating engines. You have 170 to 71 engines altogether. Wow. That's a very nice collection. That's a very, very nice collection. Winters at 77 and 78 were brutal. Okay. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Blizzard of 78 was... I've watched a couple of weather documentary or mini documentaries about that. those winters, because those were just some of the harshest winters in a long, long time. All right. Let's take out the paints here. No, we'll just do the oils for now. Yeah, we'll just leave the oils for now. And we'll go ahead and get gloved up. You lived it, yeah. Yeah, my parents and my family all did as well. Right, so we're gonna get all gloved up here. Grab my palette. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna grab the HO scale reefer for reference here. Why B23 in thumb but no on stream? B23 in thumb? What? B23 in stream? B23 on stream? B23 on stream? What is this, Paul? What do you mean? Will I get to it tonight? I don't know. Probably not. But it's here. Where did the car go? What am I looking for? Oh, yes. There we go. Yeah, I should have known you would sniff out that GE there, Paul. Your dad was an O-Gauge when he was alive. O-Gauge is pretty cool. The New York Society of Model Engineers, when I was down there today, they have a big 2-rail O-Gauge layout, which is really cool. Where did it come from? Did you miss it? It came from one Sean Klondike, and we'll be returning to him when it is weathered, along with the B40-8 that he also sent me. I'm gonna weather down these pumpkins for him, to let him enjoy that. He also sent me a Bachmann blue and yellow Santa Fe 40-2, which I might use as like a demo weathering locomotive, because I don't think I'm really gonna use it for anything. Son of a biscuit. Of course, you missed the good part, the GEs. Well, Paul, if things work out the way I think they're gonna work out, next week is probably just gonna be a GE stream. So, oh, speaking of Paul, and also speaking of this shirt that I'm wearing, before we get started on the weathering here, I'm gonna start looking at the car and figure out what I need to take out here. But I wanted to show off this incredible thing that we discovered, I discovered while watching Paul's stream. So this is, whoops, there you go. This is PNC. This is New Haven, 2555. It is a C425 from Alco. This is it in the late 1960s on the Maybrick line. This is it in 1966 on the coming towards the Maybrook, off the shoreline. This is a photo of it in Maybrook Yard in February 1969 with what appears to be vertical stacked headlights. Well, that's weird. Horizontal headlights. All right, let's look forward. It became Penn Central 2455, horizontal headlights. And then it became Conrail 2455, horizontal headlights. Well, that's odd, wouldn't you say? I would. Okay, let's take a nice close look at this here photo, because this is my evidence for, the fact that they were vertical headlights. All right, let's really look at these vertical headlights, and oh, that's a rectangle right here. There's the two regular headlights. Color photo in the snow is very nice. This is a fantastic photo, fantastic reference photo regardless. But that's a headlight beam right there, and that's the underside. Is that the underside little well, it's not on here at this point, but the little headlight shields underneath the beams. Right here and right here. So there's horizontal mounted headlights, and it's not even AI. It's not even AI. It's literally someone photoshopped or maybe even manually drew in this rectangle. Because this was posted in 2016 before AI. This is before AI happened. So this is pre-AI photoshopping. Someone decided it needs headlights. It needs headlights. I don't see headlights, because they're probably looking at the U25B behind it, which of course has vertical mounted headlights, and said, "Oh, you know what? I need some headlights on here. It doesn't look right without headlights." And this photograph sent me down a rabbit hole for like a year and a half. Exactly, Dennis. At a distance, it looks legit. So this rabbit hole sent me down a rabbit hole for like a year and a half trying to figure out how the heck this happened. Because before and after, horizontal mounted, and then here, vertical mounted. I finally figured it out while watching Paul's stream. And it is hilarious and also so dumb. Alright. Now that I've gotten that out of the way, let's see, what paints did I need? I wanted brown, wanted orange, and I wanted this brown. So that was my joyous discovery. And while this is pulled up, I also want to talk about the other thing that I decided on. So this is the BNCCS 761. Oh, this is a picture of what at the time had been BNCCS 761, which is our bicentennial unit, which I did this drawing on GP40 because I had this shell that Oops. There we go. I had this shell here, which is, oh yeah, it's a GP40. Okay, let me make this, let me go ahead and make this on a GP40. No, this shell is not a GP40 shell. This is a GP40-2 model that I have here in my hands. It's got the sight glass. It's got the overhang on the cab. It's got the different battery boxes. Okay, shoot. What do I do now? Do I just ignore it and pretend that it's a GP40? Because in the lore, 761 is a GP40. One of 3 GP40s bought off of Penn Central. Well, that's not going to work. All right, I figured it out. It's going to be a Western Pacific spec GP40-2. BNCCS got 4 of these. Paint shop is cringing with those stripes. The thing is, it's not that bad. It's just because the white stripe, the first white stripe is the normal, and then it's just 4 offset stripes from the normal. So it's not too bad. I'm gonna be struggling with them though. But so this is the Western Pacific spec GP40-2. The story I'm going with is based on reality. The Western Pacific had a couple of orders of GP40-2s, and then they decided to they had placed an order for a third one, but that order got canceled because of the UP merger in 1981. Well, I'm going with I'm actually going with similar, not quite, Chris. What I'm going with is the Western Pacific put in a third order. The order got canceled from UP, but it got canceled in 1975 because late 1974, early 1975, right on the cusp of the 70s, or the mid 70s, because right as the order was almost done being built, and that was because in this timeline, what I'm going to go with is the UP managed to push through the merger a little earlier. They managed, the paperwork wound up getting filled out, and the merger went through in '78. But it looked like it was going to go through in like '76. So they canceled the order as part of the merger agreements, just like what happened. The order was was canceled in 1980, and the merger happened in 1981. But I just moved things up a little bit, and that allows 10 GP40-2s to be basically sitting on the lot in LaGrange. And in 1975, BNCCS was taking order of 2 SD40-2s and 3 MP15 ACs from LaGrange. So while they were there, they said, let's pick up 4 of these GP40-2s from the lot here. And they had already been mostly painted. So instead of going back down to primer, the paint shops just slapped some stencils on there because they had the stencils from the other BNCCS Power, slapped it on there, and sent it out the door, which is going to allow me to make potentially up to 3 locomotives in this paint scheme, which I think is pretty neat. And in terms of doing them as a decal, I honestly probably should. Unfortunately, I have already ordered all the decals for this, and they're here. So, but it's not a bad idea. The other reason I don't really want to do them as a decal is because then matching this red, the decal red, to the paint red, because all of the the bat boxes, the cab, the roof line, the rear face of the locomotive, it's all going to be painted, and it's all just going to be primary red paint. And it is going to be hard to match colors for that. So I that's the reason why I probably am just going to paint. Because what I'm just going to do is I'm going to use 2mm. I'm going to use what I do for striping all the time, which is I'm going to do basically paint the base color. I'm going to paint blue, and then I'm going to mask the blue, and then I'm going to paint white, and then I'm going to do the white as a Garrett. To quote somebody that I heard say this recently, I may not be a wise man, but I am also not a dumb man. But I'm also not a smart man either, for that matter. That to just do the white as decal is very smart. All right, you might have turned me around on this. Yes, good to see you, Sam. Yes, Trainathon is coming. I'm gonna switch back to working here. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. I'm going to switch back to my workbench here and actually start working on this model because we are getting later and later here. But Trainathon, for those of you who don't know, is this upcoming weekend, and the Trainathon is a event put on by the Model Train People community that I am one of the early members of, or I was one of the early members of, and now am part of the moderation team on. Which is a group of younger model railroaders who are working together to try and make the hobby a better place. And part of that is that we are going to be raising money for the Peyton Manning Children's Hospital in Indianapolis, Indiana, on a 24-hour live stream this upcoming weekend. So we're going to be live from 2 p.m. Eastern to 3 p.m. Eastern because daylight savings is this weekend and we don't want to lose that hour. So 2 to 3 p.m. 2 p.m. Eastern on Saturday to 3 p.m. Eastern on Sunday on youtube.com/@modeltrainpeople. I have a post on my channel talking about it. But we are going to be live and we are going to be having a great time doing all sorts of modeling stuff. I'm going to be doing some some weathering at some point. I'm going to be live from a T-Track meetup, so it's going to be a great time. I highly suggest you guys join in. Garrett and Chris, good night, folks. Good to see you guys. 0445 sure does come early. So I do not blame you for ducking out. Hope you have a great night, Chris. And you too, Garrett. You're going to a train show in Springfield, Illinois at the Orr Building. That sounds like a lot of fun. I hope you enjoy that. All right. So we're going to get to work here. You're headed out. Yep, same. You too, Dennis. Yep, not surprised to see that. You guys have a lovely night. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I hope you have a great one. Wrong. Yes, exactly, Paul. Wrong. I did pull the wrong lever. John Train BFGR, welcome in. Good to see you. Good to have you here. Yeah, I hope you enjoy that, Josh. That sounds like a good time. All right, so we're gonna take the frame off of this shell here, just so it's a little easier to work with. I'm gonna put this off to the side. All right, let's. Okay, so what did I do here? So the first thing I'm gonna do, I think, is rust up the roof. Where is my rust wash? That's the one thing I forgot to grab, of course. And I don't know if I know where it is, actually. Well, I've got this rust wash. I just haven't. I'm not as familiar with how it works. So, well, I'm not unfamiliar with how it works. I'm not as familiar with how well it works. Because I've not really used it before. All right, how long have I been doing weathering? I have been doing weathering for a long time. Let's see, it's been probably more than I mean, I've been in the hobby for. Let's see, I've been in the hobby for 13 years. I've been weathering for probably 9 or 10 of those years. Just because that's, you know, I got into it early. I found a passion for it, and I found I really enjoyed it, and I just kept on getting better and better and practicing and enjoying things. You know, I started getting really good probably 6 years ago now. We'll start with that as a wash. Now, it's not going to be able to be super precisely close to the HO scale 1 because the HO scale 1 doesn't have a roof walk and has ribbed roof as opposed it has a different style of roofing and stuff because this is a this is just a Atlas train line or train man model, not a nice Walthers mainline model. But all right, so that's that. All right, we mix up some light rust here. Ooh, dripped right onto the. Dang it! All right, let me freaking clean that up. Dripped right onto the cutting mat. There we go. some orange in there. I'm also going to put a dot of red in there. Just too warm. We'll put a drop of red in there. Sure how that happened, but okay. Needs a little more orange. Okay. Add a little more orange. I think I had too much brown to begin with is I think the real problem. So actually I think I'm going to do something like that. Yeah, that's more like it. It needs a little bit more red. So how has everyone been? How's everyone doing tonight? Hopefully well. You're heading out? Sounds good, Adam. Thanks for tuning in. Always good to chat with you. Hope you're doing well out there in your not wintry conditions, which I know you would like to be much more wintry. Excuse me, goodness. There we go. That's pretty good. Bring my paint cup up here, that way I can rinse my brush off a little bit. Still searching. Yeah, give us updates on the lizard people when we see you next time. Hopefully, who knows? Maybe you'll have found them by now, or maybe they'll have found you. Have a good night, Adam. Thanks for tuning in. Oops. Well, I didn't mean to do that. A little bit overzealous there. Wound up bringing some of the rust down onto the side of the car, which I didn't want to do quite yet. There we go. All right, now let's go down to my little brush. Let's see, John was a vendor at a train show yesterday. Very busy, lots of young guys and families. That is awesome to hear. So good to hear that, John. Hope you had a productive day at the being a vendor. You know. But that sounds like a great time. Joss has been doing good, just fighting allergies. Yeah, those freaking allergies, man. It'll get you every time. I swear. So now, I gotta add a lot of little randomized dots here. Pardon me. Oh, yeah, good question. What show? Where did my phone just go? What? How did I manage to lose my phone when I've been sitting here the whole time? Huh? How do I do this? How do I do this? There it is. Found it. There we go. Get some rust all around those rivets. Ancaster, Ontario, Canada. Very nice. We got a lot of shows this weekend. Apparently this past weekend was the train show weekend because you had GSME had their show. Apparently a show in Ancaster, Ontario. And then I know Chris Ketch was down at the train show in Erie, PA. So apparently it was a very train show weekend. Oh, and there was one in Jersey where Chris Wallace was. Dang. That's crazy. And then I know next week, and when I was at NYSME today, they were talking about next weekend they have their show. Which is less of a train show, more of an open house, but I guess it's that season, you know? Ooh, excuse me. Excuse me, that's pretty good. Let's rust the tops of these bulkhead warts. Excuse me. Okay, let's keep going down the line here, adding a little more rust down each rivet line. There we go. Oh, I guess I should probably zoom in so you guys can see what I'm doing on the N scale model, huh? There we go. Now you guys can see the N scale model. Excellent. Here we go, here we go. All right, there we go. So decent start to all that. that's quite possibly the best end I've ever done. It came out looking very nice. Sweet. Alright, so we're going to let all that dry on there for a little bit. While that's drying, I'm going to clean off this brush here. I'm going to zoom the camera back out a little bit because we are going to jump over to the World of HO scale and get the starting phases of weathering done on Garrett's lovely Finger Lakes Railways caboose. And I will be using the patent pending Teddy DiOrio's fading technique of dots of oil paint that get blended together. Oops. By brush. That's what I used on the 201R, which came out fantastically. And I plan to do the same thing for the 202R. But before we can do any weathering on the 202R, we need to take it out of its protective layers, and we need to defend the windows from all the weathering that we're about to do. So here's the mount model that Garrett did a very nice job on, putting all these details on and everything. So I'm going to be careful to not, try and not screw up all of his lovely work. Alright, so the first thing I need to do is I need to mask off these windows. Grab my micro mask. Almost missed the chair. That would have been, that would probably been pretty funny to watch. But for my own sake, I'm quite glad I did not eat it. All right, X-Acto is right here. Actually, let me get a nice, fresh, sharp blade on this X-Acto. That way, don't have to worry about it. Pardon me. Alright, let's go ahead and get this blade into the handle. Masking, masking, masking. One of the most satisfying and yet also stressful things to work on a model. Paul, I just want you to know I keep looking up and seeing your message about Chris Wallace being at this train show, and for some reason my brain completes the sentence as Chris Wallace lives there, and I'm not sure why or how, but I just found that kind of funny and wanted to share that. We got one window successfully masked. Oh man. Tip ripped off my glove. Alright, well I guess I'm gonna have to switch hands on the gloves here. So this is gonna now be my tool hand. And this is gonna be my working hand. Come on. Okay. Okay, there we go. Good. Those windows are good. Let's get the other side. Okay, so fun fact, this window is pulling away from the model. We're going to go ahead and try and fix that. There we go. Okay. So while that glue is drying, I'm going to go ahead and seal up using my micro mask. I'm going to seal up the headlights and ditch lights. Oh, that was too much on the brush. Okay. Sounds good, Dale. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you have a lovely rest of your evening, and hope to see you around. Sounds good, Josh. Yeah, catch me. I'll see you next week. Same time, same place. I'm just gonna go ahead and try to give a nice thick layer of micro mask and let that be. There we go. Good. And yeah, while I've got this out, I'm just gonna yeah. Have a good night, Josh. Thanks for tuning in, and hope to see you next week. Okay. Pardon me. So, okay. So we are all sealed up on the windows. Oh, excuse me, goodness. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and pull up my reference images of 202R. So 202R is going to get a bit heavier weathering than 201R. Where is my... why I have pictures of 202R. So this is kind of what we're going to be aiming for on 202R. All of this streaking here, it's my understanding is it's the gray paint underneath chipping back to the red. I am going to try and just achieve that through streaking down some oil paints. That's going to be my goal. We're going to see how it comes out, but that's going to be the goal. I need to do some weathering around the plated over window. Some soot kind of marks around that. Obviously, need to do weathering on the trucks. I'm going to do some light rust on the roof and some light rust on the beds, or the platforms rather. And some grime and light rust on the and the car ends. Whew. Having a stroke. Pardon me. Okay. So, let's get to it. First thing I need to do is fade the existing colors. So, I'm going to use the patent pending TM whatever, etc. Ted DI Oreo fade method, which means I need to figure out where I put my color wheel. Where did I put it? Fall down here. Nope, didn't put it down here. Didn't fall down here. Uh-oh. So where did I put? What the heck happened to my color wheel? It was right here. Oh, this is a problem. Well, it's not that big of a problem. I'll pull up an image on my computer, but I was gonna reference for you folks. All right, whatever. I'm just gonna pull up an image, I guess, because I don't know where everyone went. Or where my thing went. Color wheel. Images. There we go. Alright, so we have like a candy apple red here. So we're gonna go on the opposite side of that is green on the color wheel. And then we have gray, which is just going to be, it's just gonna be white basically, is the opposite of that. So we're gonna add some green and some white onto the side of the car here. If I back the zoom off a little bit. There we go. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to put this right here. Just going to finish cleaning out this well. I never fully finished cleaning it out. There we go. Much better. Okay. So we're going to add the green. And then we're going to add some white. There we go. So we're going to take some green and we're going to put some green dots on here. There we go. Clean off this brush. Now we're going to add some white. There we go. And now we are going to make it look like garbage for a minute here before we can really blend it all in and make it look good. So we're gonna go there, then we're gonna grab my sponge. There it is. And now it looks significantly more, oops, there we go. Significantly more faded. Than the other one, the other sides. Excuse me. And now I'm gonna add a little more white on there. Good. Now we're going to go ahead and yeah, actually we're just going to leave it at that. So I'm just going to quickly go. So there's your before and after. I'm going to go ahead and lighten up the trucks while I'm sitting here. we go. So it looks like the masking agent is still damp, so I'm not going to fiddle with that too much. I can't help myself. I'm just going to be careful around the windows there. There we go. Excuse me. Okay. This fade job is half done. And I think that's probably where I'm going to leave it for tonight. We are in a pretty good spot with this here. I'm pretty satisfied with how it's coming along. So, I'm going to leave this one here for now. Actually, it's more than that because I forgot I faded this side too. So, with that, we're going to wrap the stream here. We went ahead and weathered up, you know, the starting level of weathering on the BN FE cover, reefer, and we made 3/4 of the fade job done on the Finger Lakes 202R project. So I hope you all have enjoyed tuning in. I had a great time tonight, as hectic as things were. I hope you all had fun as well. So thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and I will see you all on the next track. Have a good night, folks.